Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second SAT review video. You know the drill. Let's just jump into the reading passage. I got an 8 out of 10 on the reading passage, which is fine, but I would like to get a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Maybe sometime in the near future here. With that said, I do feel I've improved my text evidence questions from the last time. I don't think I'll be reviewing the text evidence question that I answered in this specific passage, but I did get it right, and getting things right is an improvement from missing both text evidence questions from last time. Anyways, for question 7, I chose betrays instead of establishes. I was tied between those two and went for betrays because I felt like establish was too strong to describe a study, because I thought his study was like correlation, not causation. So I was like, establish felt like too strong of a word, but it's a much better choice than betrays now looking back at it. I was also misunderstanding what the word betrays meant. When I was answering the question, I was actually thinking of the definition of the word portrays, or portrays. And betrays and portrays is they're different. Betrays has a more negative context. Way more negative context. That's just not doesn't fit the tone of the passage at all. All right, next question. Question 9. Was this is this an honest brain fart, honestly? I read the question, understood it completely, looked at the graph, and for some reason I thought that the height of those two bars were at around 72 instead of 66. There really was no excuse for the wrong answer here. I just, I'm just not sure why I chose the answer I did there. Because even during the question, I felt like I understood it completely, and I just, it was a misalignment. I saw 72 where the bars were instead of 66. So. Moving on to writing, in which I got a 10 out of 11, missing one question, which is pretty good. Pretty good win rate here. Now, even the question I got wrong, I wasn't really paying attention to the first sentence, what it was saying. So, even the question, even like the question was suggesting, like, go back to the first sentence, make sure that you've read it so you can answer this question thoroughly. And I just didn't connect the dots, and I didn't I just didn't connect the dots. I didn't really go back and read the first question. I don't know why. Maybe I've just been a little bit tired today, and just making silly mistakes like this. So I just chose the choice that sounded the best, and it was wrong. The key word in the first sentence was geological. If I had seen and actually thought through, comprehended the word, I would have definitely come up with the answer D. All right, moving on to math. I'm actually very proud of the math, not just because I got a 10 out of 11, but I'm very proud of the score because they weren't just random SAT math problems. They were actually a collage of problems that I've gotten wrong in the past. So maybe that might make it easier because I've seen them already, but at the same time, it does demonstrate that I am improving and I can solve the questions that I used to not be able to solve. So it's very nice to see myself like go from not being able to answer any of these questions to nearly answering all of them. The only one I got, let's see. And the only question I got wrong was actually just a simple distance problem. I just miscalculated because I was doing it hand math for some reason. Things like that happen, especially under time pressure. Like, sometimes I'm like, 6 times 6 is 24. Like, no, it's not. But, you just make that split second like mistake and then it ruins the entire problem. So it was something like that. I don't know where the math was. But yeah, it was something like that. And when you make a computation error like that, a lot of the time I look for ways to improve it with the trusty calculator, and I've actually written a program, as you can see here. It's a distance. So the distance formula is now inside of my TI 84 plus CE calculator. So I can't use that. I can't use that on the non-calculator portion of the test, but if I do get any distance questions specifically involving coordinates, where you have to do this tedious like minusing and then square rooting, and it's basically the quadratic formula. That's how I remember the distance formula. Not the quadratic formula. The Pythagorean theorem is very, very, very similar to the distance formula, and if you just remember that, you can usually basically make the distance formula on the test very easily. So yeah, so that's what I would probably do next time. No calculator portion, but programs always save you time, and I definitely do suggest anyone who wants to get a higher math score, just reduce computation errors, make it faster. Like, I believe the rule is that like no more than 25 lines of code per program, which I only have 2 lines in my distance program, so easy like that. I can actually show you. Go to edit. 3 lines of program here. You just prompt, and then you write in the equation, and then you display, you prompt, write in the equation, and then you store that equation into a letter, and then you display that letter that you store the answer in. And if you have more than one answer, you just you write out the separate equations. So if you have a plus and minus, you write 2 separate equations for the plus and minus. That's what you have to do for the quadratic equation, as well as things like, what else? Like absolute values. You also need, like, if you have any equations with that. I don't think I have any, because this calculator actually processes absolute values by themselves, but yeah, that's my calculator rant. And that's pretty much all. Anyways, that was today's road to 1500, not 500, 1500 SAT review. And I'll see you in another one tomorrow. Thanks. See ya.